Hello, welcome to Nizhny. How are the feeling of the team? Everybody is okay?
Everybody are excited. You know, we've been here before, and it's a nice end for this nice journey in this competition.
What do you say? What do you expect from today's game about your opponent? What do you expect from them?
Well, it's a high-level opponent. They play fast basketball, very collective and with big enthusiasm. So we need to try to get the game a little bit more slower, a little bit more physical, and disturb them as much as possible.
Thanks very much. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Nizhny.
Hello.
How are the feeling of the team and especially Sharmadini?
No, Sharmadini is perfect. He's a man with a guy. He's a guy with a great character, and he is perfectly recovered with a good feeling. He's always thinking about his family, his country, his team, and no any problem for him since the same moment he was in the hotel. And the team is with a good feeling, but knowing that in front of us there is a great team too.
Did you have enough time to prepare for this game?
Never is enough. Never is enough. And especially because in other years we had more time to prepare, but this season was unbelievable in Spain, and we played 15 games in 45 days. But 2 days to prepare the game is not enough, but we need it's enough. Then this is not a question.
Thank you very much. Good luck today.
Thank you, sir.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nizhny Novgorod. This is the BCL Final 8, and it is the quarterfinal between Lenovo Tenerife and SIG Strasbourg. Well, the Basketball Champions League has lived up to its billing this season. It has been a great competition, and that was evident yesterday in the two quarterfinals that we had. Kicking things off, or tipping things off, shall we say, Casademont Zaragoza beating Nizhny Novgorod to kind of set the tone for an interesting day. And then Era Nymburk came up against a very good and ultimately two powerful Pinar Karšiaka team that was led by Raymar Morgan. So those two teams will meet in the semifinal. You know, you can already see their names penciled in there for tomorrow's action. And, well, Tenerife Strasbourg, and then later tonight it'll be Holon Burgos, and the winner of these two games then will meet in the semifinals. So it is year number 5 of the Basketball Champions League, and it has had different champions every year. Might we have a repeat this year? Could be it could be, excuse me, Lenovo Tenerife. It could be Hereda San Pablo Burgos, or maybe it's going to be somebody new. Maybe it'll be somebody like this SIG Strasbourg team. I'm Jeff Taylor, and joined by Mark Clark, and I think if we were reminded of anything yesterday, Mark, you know, on any given day, any of these teams, it seems like they can beat any other team in this Final 8.
Well, Jeff, that's what you and I said throughout the pre-game for both games. They're all too close to call, and this one in particular, two of the 5 teams that have played in the Basketball Champions League in every edition of the competition. 2 of the most efficient teams. This is almost going to be a game for the purists. You know, the Tenerife, marvelous, absolutely marvelous team in terms of their execution. They're so efficient, #1 efficient team in the competition. But Strasbourg, And you've got to take your hat off to Coach Tovey, who's taken over a team this year that has been under one of the greats of European basketball, Vincent Collet, for a number of years, and he's added something to that team, which is an achievement in itself. But they're also a team that prides itself on being able to control the ball. So this is going to be a game for the purists. You're going to see a lot of great offensive basketball in terms of sets. And this SIG Strasbourg roster, highlighted obviously by Bonsi Colson. But the real strength of this team is the team. You remember Wojciech, the former Nürnberg player, number 17, after a little slow start, making an adjustment to a new team has been phenomenal. Great backcourt, balanced across the floor, and as a group, they play so well. Really do understand each other's roles.
And they had a lot of adversity that they had to overcome. Obviously, many of these teams did, but especially Strasbourg, after losing their first 3 games in the playoffs, they came back and won 3 and finished with a 3-3 record and beat Ike, one of the former champions. In fact, they beat them on the way to that second place very impressively. So they finished second in Group K behind Nizhny Novgorod. And I don't think SIG Strasbourg are flying under the radar. I think people, have a lot of respect for this team, and they also have a lot of respect for Lenovo Tenerife for all that they have been able to accomplish the past several years. And I think it would be an accurate statement to say that the Basketball Champions League has really helped them elevate themselves as a club. You look at Santa Justa, Bruno Fittipaldo, Marcelino Huertas, Sasu Salin, Sergio Rodriguez, Giorgio Shermadini, who's made the star lineup, Emir Suleimanovic, Alex Lopez, Tyler Cavanaugh, Frank Guerrero has really improved, Aaron Dordekamp and Danilo Brunovic playing for Coach Chus Vidoreta. So it's a team that's loaded, but you know what? I think all bets are off. I think it's a wide open Final 8 coming in, Mark, and it'll be interesting to see if this is a close game. Who knows? Maybe SIG Strasbourg will be the team that blows out Lenovo Tenerife.
Well, Jeff, the first thing to say is don't go near those betting sites for this one, because I agree with you 100%. You look at this, and in the stats line, Tenerife are the team that probably leads them in the stat line. But Strasbourg, over the last 3 games of those playoffs, really did find a way just to win games. And the coach and players definitely on the same page. Maybe in the past we've been a little unkind to Strasbourg, saying they're an underachieving team. They can't go from being an underachiever to being an overachiever. They're a very good basketball team, and I do think they have momentum going into this game. Also, they haven't played since the 30th of April. They've had a long time in Basketball Champions League terms to prepare for this. And it's going to be a real battle of the 2 coaches. It's also, I think, they match up pretty well. Shermadini is the one guy, if they leave him space to play, they do not really have a great matchup to stop Shermadini getting another game where he scores 20 points. When Shermadini gets 20, Tenerife normally win. It's going to be a tough ask. Be interested to see how they decide to guard Shermadini, especially when you've got the master, Marcelino Huertas, giving him the ball.
Well, as we look at the roster coming out, it is worth noting that in those 3 games that they lost in the playoffs, they were close games. They lost 83-76 at Turk Telecom. They lost by just 5 at home to Nizhny Novgorod, and then they lost by 9 at Ike. But of course, then they came back and were just like a storm that hit all 3 of those teams, and they won very impressively the next 3 times. So Brandon Jefferson, DeAndre Lansdowne, all of these guys this is their moment. I mean, they are looking forward. Cavalier, again, we were talking about how he brings so much toughness to this team, as does Jean-Baptiste Mail. So don't underrate Strasbourg.
Jeff, never underestimate a group where the sum of the parts is greater than those individual components. That's the case with Strasbourg. Everybody on this team who comes in understands their role, and it is one of my things. Know what you're good at, know what you can do, know what's good for you, and then just bring it to your group. And I think the way that Coach Tovey has allowed them to develop as a group has really done that this year. I really do like the way Wojciech really sums it up for me. He was really a little lost at the start of the Basketball Champions League season. No panic. They just let him find himself in the group, and he's just a phenomenal basketball player. He's looked like that when he's played for the Czech national team, and he's now bringing some real consistency to that small forward spot for this team.
Yeah, Bohacek has been terrific, and well, you know what? You want to get better. If you're going to have some struggles, you'd rather it be early in the season, just as long as it doesn't knock you out of a competition. And again, this team just seems like it's been on a mission. And you know, when you see a team like Tenerife in front of you, you know you've got the opportunity to go out and really claim a scalp that'll raise eyebrows. Ish Wainwright, the Uganda international, has been just absolutely fantastic this year, as has Bonzi Colson from that very first game. Yanis Moran has the potential to come out and be just huge down low. You know, he's either off or on, so it'll be interesting to see if he matches up well against this Tenerife team. And then you got Bonzi Colson, who, you know, just so many big plays, made the star lineup. Started things off this season for Strasbourg with a crucial offensive rebound and then hitting a game-winning three-pointer. And there's Lassie Tuovi, who's had the luxury of learning under some real great coaches. You mentioned Vincent Collet here at Strasbourg, but also don't forget Henrik Detman in Finland. And you know, and he's actually kind of brought his own blend to it. And I think where he's really benefited, in fact, from all that time is that Detman, for example, empowers his assistants and lets them be very assertive in timeouts and everything else. And I think all of that has come to the fore for this Strasbourg team this year. They've benefited from it.
Oh, Jeff, I think the great thing when you're a young coach, an inexperienced coach perhaps, you've got to find your own way. And he, as you say, has had lots and lots of like mentors, lots of people to learn from. And he's a real student of the game, and he's had great people to follow. Vincent Collet's attention to detail and Detman's ability to get the best out of players and put systems on the floor that really suit. He's taken that, he's come up with a system here for Strasbourg, which nothing's been thrown out. It's a case of just amending. Nothing was really broken at Strasbourg. They just kept coming up short. Well, as you said, in the last few weeks of the BCL playoffs, they haven't come up short at all. They've stayed with that, and they've come up with some great, really good performances. The intriguing thing for me, Jeff, is that Tenerife love to control the ball. They love to be so efficient. They never get rushed. Coach Videretta's team never get rushed. Only Burgos have made this team rush this year. The trouble is for them, that's how Strasbourg want to play. This really is going to be a tactical battle. And there's one or two things where the game could go on. This guy coming out, Josi Shomadini, you know, one of the all-stars. I just don't see a matchup, unless they get physical with him. I don't see a matchup where they can contain Shomadini. They've just got to get very, very physical with him and share the fouls out and make it very tough for Shomadini to play in space. They've really got to crowd the space he plays in. If they give him space, he's going to score.
Well, we saw there's Alex Lopez. We saw Emir Sulemanovic, who's had a terrific run with Tenerife, also with Bosnia and Herzegovina, their national team. And we saw Saline come out, one of the premier shooters in Europe. Tyler Kavanaugh has to log some big, tough, important minutes in this game. Frank Guerra is a player that has really stepped up this season. I've been impressed by him. He seems to have really grown in stature and getting a lot of trust from Chus Vidoretta. So, and then of course Aaron Dornekamp, a returning champion. He was in the initial Tenerife team that won the final in year one of the Basketball Champions League. He ended up going off to Valencia with Vidoretta and then came back to play again for these Canary Islands clubs. Chus Vidoretta, again, needs no introduction, but clearly one of the top coaches in the Basketball Champions League in Spain. So we are just minutes away from the start of what promises to be a great quarterfinal. Remember, the party was sort of spoiled yesterday by Casa de Montzaragoza beating Nizhny Novgorod. We did have half capacity despite the coronavirus pandemic, so that was great. And but unfortunately, because the pandemic is still with us, it affects attendance and everything else. So, but one thing that we have noticed is it seems like all season long the players have coped, and they've played as if there have been tons of fans in the stands.
Jeff, I think yeah, we've said this yesterday as well. From the organization at the BCL down, it's just remarkable we're here. Remarkable that we've managed to get a whole season in with minimal disruptions, and players in particular not used to the environment where they're restricted in what they can do. They don't get a lot of downtime, as in time away from the team in this scenario. They're in bubbles often. You know, they don't have that moment where they can just hang out with a family, hang out with a teammate. And that's, you know, people underestimate the impact of that as we get a look at another great group of officials.
That's right. Yener Yilmaz on the right from Turkey. He didn't get to go yesterday, but Alexander Glisic and Ademir Zarapovic. Glisic in the middle from Serbia, and Zarapovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina on the left. And again, you know, these are Olympic World Cup level referees, so only the best. Brandon Jefferson, Jaromir Bohacic, Ishmael Wainwright, Giannis Moran, and Bonzi Colson are going to start things off, and you have to say that is one heck of a starting five, but a lot of pressure on Moran if he has to guard Shermadini. I'm guessing there's going to be some double down help to try to neutralize the impact. Brandon Jefferson has just been, he was huge in their wins and really played like a veteran point guard.
Jeff, you made the point about Moran as we got to look at, in my opinion, you know, pretty much I think the most important player to his team in the BCL, in the Basketball Champions League this year. Coulson is just so important to Coach Tuove and his team. His impact in this game is going to be decisive. But you mentioned Moran. I think he could score no points in this game today. He could do nothing down the offensive end. If he does a job defensively on the glass and on Shermadini, it could be so crucial when there's a starting lineup for Tenerife with that's a great backcourt. And the normal scenario of not starting Wirtz-Ash, got Fittipaldo and Salin in the backcourt. Rodriguez, you know, he really does mix it up in the starting lineup, this Videoretta. But this guy up front is just phenomenal. He's just had a great pro career wherever he's played, and he is an all-star by every stretch of the imagination. And I really think how he goes today, how this game goes, they've just got to find a way to stop him. The trouble is, as you said, Jeff, double down on him, and this guy's standing on the three-point line, and that's like money in the bank if you leave this guy open. And you know, we got to look here at Coach Videoretta, who is a great at the coaching game. That's the only way to describe him. One of the most respected coaches in Spain and across in the international basketball environments. He finds ways to get people the ball. That's why they're so tough. It's not a case of just doubling down. You've got to find a way to then rotate out of that. Ranked first in the field in free throws. They're ranked first in efficiency. They're ranked first in a lot of categories. They're just a tough team to beat, and it's a 40-minute job. And Strasbourg are going to have to be very good for the whole of this 40. They are, though, just so good on the offensive balls. They rebound over 30% of their misses. That's an unbelievably high number at this level. They're going to need to do that and more, I think, today. But the great thing for me, Strasbourg know how to play basketball. They're well coached. This is a game for the purists. Sit back and literally enjoy what's going to be a game of quality basketball from top to bottom in every aspect. This, at the quarterfinals, should be the purest game we're going to see.
Strasbourg making their first appearance at the end of season showpiece event in the Basketball Champions League, and Tenerife are always here. I mean, we're used to seeing them. The pressure, always the favorites of many to go all the way. They've only done it one time. Will they go on to not only win this game, but to win the title for the second time in club history? Well, it all starts here for them, and it all starts here as well for SIG Strasbourg. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. We are in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. This is the Basketball Champions League Final 8, and it's quarterfinal number 3, the first of the day. And it's Tenerife winning the opening tip and attacking the basket to the right, and scoring already against Strasbourg was Giorgio Shermadini.
Well, a little too easy, Jeff. Gave him the baseline, no help. No surprise that they run that little cross screen to release him, get a little bit of advantage in the low block, but forced him baseline as though he's expecting some help, and no help came, and it's just a simple layup.
So Brandon Jefferson outside for Strasbourg. Now Bahacic goes to work and goes right at Saline, misses. And Ish Wainwright's attempt to get the offensive rebound is not there. Now the three-point shot, no good from Rodriguez. And three-point shot is not there for Ish Wainwright. Colson coming out a long way from the basket. Now Saline moves over to his left. And flying in and getting another rebound is Colson. Now Bahacic, Strasbourg looking for their first points. Little step back there from Bahacic. It went around the rim and came out, so couldn't quite get it to go down.
Haven't got a good look, though. They've had to really try and make a basket, Strasbourg. First 3 possessions, they're not really gone to something where they think they're going to get an easy one. Whereas when it goes in here, they normally get a good one.
Well, both teams starting a little cold here. Tenerife hitting it out to behind the arc. Now Shermadini again, and Shermadini gets it to go. This time he went right at Wainwright.
It's just, they can't play him one-on-one, that's for sure. They're going to have to find a way to where they're going to help from, who they're going to decide to leave. If they play him one-on-one, I just don't see it going any way apart from to the guys in yellow.
Colson gets rejected. Fittipaldo, who was in that Burgos team last year, but was not with them when they won the Final Eight. Then he signed. Remember, COVID stopped the season, and the contract expired, and he signed with Tenerife, and then his old club went and won the Basketball Champions League. There's Colson getting blocked. And I believe it was Rodriguez who had the hands extended.
Great thing about Coach Villarreal, he gets to know everybody, Jeff. Knows the referees really well by the end of the game, knows the table, he's checking everything. He's a very social coach.
He's had these referees before, definitely. I know numerous times. The ball goes off the hands, they get it back. And Jefferson, nope, there's Colson for the follow, and he gets rejected, and finally stays with it and scores over Shermadini.
Well, with their struggles offensively in the first 3 minutes or so, it's always going to be Colson that was going to make something happen. Great work on the offensive ball, didn't get phased by the block, it's straight back up. Shermadini's going to get another touch. It's one of those sets where he'll pick and then he'll roll.
Drifting in and missing was Fittipaldo, but Shermadini rebounds, takes his time, and almost got it to go for a potential three-point play, but he'll get a couple of free throws.
It'd be great to know Coach Giovi's thinking on this, Jeff, because his team doesn't want to run. His team doesn't really want to make it very broken. They want to make it a controlled game, but the best team in the league running controlled basketball is Tenerife. So that's his dilemma. I mean, and at the moment, Tenerife's defense, when you're playing at that pace, is so good at just staying in front of you, making you force shots over the top of the defense. It's a real dilemma. It's not the way Strasbourg want to play the game. They've got to, if they want to win this one, they're going to have to go a little quicker. I just don't think they're going to beat Tenerife playing Tenerife basketball.
Bohacic, well, stays patient and takes it all the way in. So nice, nice move there by Jaromir Bohacic. Fittipaldo again, has it. Feeds Shermadini, Rodriguez. And Shermadini coming over the back of Moran, but not able to rebound it. Oh, quick pass, and there's Colson. Great
Outwork
hustle.
your opponent and good things happen. He just outworked his guy coming down the floor. He got from end to end faster, great pass. Yeah, again, Coulson just carries the weight of this team on his shoulders.
Well, the good hustle by Strasbourg's Coulson has put them in front. And here he is running around. Huertas is now going to check into the game. Fourth in the Basketball Champions League at 5.8 assists per game. That's no surprise. Entry pass. And again, the basket is good. They give up an easy one, and it's Santa Justa who will go to the line now for a three-point play opportunity.
Well, Huertas in the game. One touch, one assist. It's just, yeah, it literally is obviously a great of international basketball. Huertas with his NBA experience. He's experienced on some of the best teams in Europe. And it's one of those players that teammates love to play with, because if you cut, you got your hands up, if you're open, he's going to find you. It's just another piece of this Tenerife jigsaw that just works as a whole group.
Wainwright catches and goes and banks it in.
See, now they're looking okay, Strasbourg.
Yeah, I was going to say,
they're looking okay now, Jeff. Yeah.
He'll be encouraged by the start, where it's just so silky smooth.
It's just now that Strasbourg are starting to really execute plays, they're going to get a reaction out of Tenerife, and as long as you make the right read, you will get looks, but you've got to be executing at that really high level throughout the whole game. Keep it simple. Yeah, at times you can be very direct. Going the other way though. You know, the guy that's one of the best passers in world basketball, if you think he's going to pass, he'll score. He's just a great, his IQ is second to none in terms of his read on plays.
Well, DeAndre Lansdowne checked into the game, number 8. Here's Jefferson. So that ball bounces high off the iron and over the backboard.
It's still good execution. The timing, the lift was good. He gets an open look. Jefferson's that good a player that if you keep giving him those open looks, he will make. This game is like starting, and that was a slow start, but it's now starting to really, take some really nice form. There's lots of action going on, plays going on where they get good reads. That's a travel.
Panguera in the game and travels. Yep. So.
And they can play Guerra one-on-one. That's the thing. They can play him one-on-one and make him make a decision. Even though I agree with you, Jeff, he's had a great season, and a season where it's not quite a breakout year, but he's been really effective. Whereas Shermadini will score, I think Guerra needs a little more help.
Lansdowne, instant offense. Can't get it to drop.
Do like the option, though. It's a shot that Lansdowne would expect to make and make regularly.
Huertas again. This time he can't get it to drop. Now Lansdowne up to Coulson. Udino. Bounce pass, and even Lansdowne couldn't pick that one up. So Yilmaz, the Turkish referee, calls a foul.
And there's a good example for you, Jeff. The correct read, the use of the pick and roll was effective, but you've just got to execute it better. The pass was a really poor pass, and I think the referee's going to have a look at that, which could be an unsportsmanlike foul. I think that's what they're going to check out.
are checking anytime possible upgrade from personal to unsportsmanlike.
So that's an off-ball foul, Jeff.
Yeah. Transition. No attempt to play the ball.
I think they're going to go unsportsmanlike.
Yeah. Is this a normal basketball play? For me, no. Go back once again.
The regular speed is better.
Regular speed, this one.
Do we have main?
Yeah, now. One more time and we go.
Normal speed.
Okay, now you want to go into the hand.
Yeah. The shooter
His number, go back.
42.
So, this is, shooter is number 4.
42. Number 42 is the shooter.
Yeah, okay. So, conclusive, unsportsmanlike foul. 2 shots for number
42.
42. Let's go. Unsportsmanlike. Let's go. 2 shots. Unsportsmanlike.
So yeah, Mark, it was.
Because transition starts.
They spelled it out. Just wasn't a basketball play. It
Yep.
just slid over. And again, here, look at it from
You'll
this
get a
angle.
great slot at it here. That's, yeah. It has to be an unbasketball flat off the ball. In terms of the extension of the arms, it was just an attempt to slow the breakdown. And as I say, I love the quality of the officials we have here, but I love the fact that they're explaining that to themselves, getting to the agreed position, and we're sitting here and we know exactly why it was called and what was called. If only that was happening everywhere in the world, every coach would be happy.
So Tenerife up by 4 points. And Greta in that low post. And those pivots are having their way.
Yep. I think he got away of a walk, personally, but I cannot see how they can play just straight up man in the post on any of the 5s that are in the Tenerife roster. Unless they make them play quicker.
Dornicant, or Justa rather, rebounds the miss from Ish Wainwright, and the first bit of adversity here for Strasbourg as they trail by 6 points, having given away the unsportsmanlike foul. Dornicamp launches, and they are going to call a foul on Strasbourg, boxing out. That, you know, there were only blue shirts and Santa Justa there, and yet he was working so hard for the basketball. And Lansdowne, watch how he...
It's all arm, Jeff. That extended arm, he's just holding him off with the arm, and you've got to credit Justa. You said it, Jeff. He's 4-on-1 on the glass, and he just made it happen just by sheer effort. Lansdowne never got him boxed out. I don't even know if he had to hold him. If it had just gone after the ball, he'd have probably got it Lansdowne. But Justa, you know, he's had his injury troubles this season, Santiago Justa, but when he's in the roster, he really does give you contribution.
So we've got Jean-Baptiste Mael as well as Leo Cavalier in the game. And these are 2 real hard workers for Strasbourg, but they don't stop. Huertas, who takes it up to the biggest lead of the game, 8 points. Mayo drives in, then Lansdowne with, or rather Udino for the follow, and good hustle by Mayo. Tenerife not able to catch it.
Dornicamp took a pretty strong blow to the head there, I think. He stopped. It's not going to be anything, you know, that's going to make him stop unless he really has taken a bit of a blow. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he got it from Udino.
Elbow across the top of the completely, you know, incidental, as in not meant. But Donnykamp's is one of those guys you describe as a warrior. He's not going to stop unless he's really feeling it. That must have hurt. Unfortunately for Strasbourg, that means that Shermadini comes back in, so no rest for the men in blue.
Well, hot check again, and he's fouled by Saline. Just the third
one of those
team
plays
foul.
where there you see Jeff sideways action that causes the blocking foul. Saline saw where it was happening. He was just a half a step late. According to his coach, he was right on time.
For Lenovo Tenerife is being replaced by number 6.
Once they get into this rotation at Tenerife, Jeff, with Salin and Huertas and Fittipaldo, it's very like for like. It's just a great two-guard combination, whichever three of them are in the game. Great pass.
Yeah, good find. And again, good patience. Strasbourg just need to hang around. They'll be okay. You don't want Tenerife to go on a huge run, which they are they're capable of. Huertas again. Oh, excellent defense by Lansdowne. And he goes in. Oh, good hustle back by Shermadini, but goal interference is the call. He already hit it off of the glass, and it's defensive plays like that that are going to help. Now, wait a minute. Are they not calling that goal interference?
I don't think it was. I was just about to say that's a tough call, because I think Shermadini hits this onto the glass.
Okay.
Watch the effort, though. Regardless of what he does, it's a great effort to start with. Let's not talk about, you know, it's...
Oh, no, they hit the glass
you're
first.
right. I hit the glass. It's definitely an interference call. They've called it good. I don't know what everyone's getting excited about. I think they've called it good, yeah.
It's just that the graphic hasn't registered yet.
Yeah, the graphic hasn't gone up.
So it should be 16-12. And Shermadini again stumbles down. And great. Now that time they got into a position where they could kind of surround him.
Yep. It's the guys you were talking about, Jeff, as well. You know, watch where they come and go after it. They're not going to give this up now, and it's regardless of, yeah, it's great hustle. These guys are telling Shermadini right now, hey, you're going to have to work for everything you get out here.
I mean, Mark, you know, Bonzi Colson, Ish Wainwright deservedly get all the hype. But again, it's Mail and it's Cavalier and it's Lansdowne that are they just get down and dirty and they get after you.
Absolutely.
And they have pulled it. They have pulled it back, and it should be 16-14. So
I agree with you. I'm pretty sure it should be.
There it is.
It is now. There you go.
So the final seconds ticking off the clock in the first quarter. Nice little comeback here for Strasbourg. And Sulemanovic misses from long range. So you have to say the momentum all of a sudden is with SIG Strasbourg. Despite trailing, they came back strong there at the end of the first quarter. It's Lenovo Tenerife, though, on top 16-14.
What a contradiction in numbers, Jeff. What a great job on the two-point range, you know, 50 and 75%, but neither team making a three. I think that's largely down that neither team has really got into any sort of rhythm. And that's what you're going to see, I think, in these best plays. There's a lot of, you know, this type of play on the inside where Shermadini just dominant when he needs to be. But there wasn't really a lot of flow to the game, and no one really got into any rhythm. And they had to make plays to score. It wasn't as if they got things off of some pin downs or people coming up open on screens. It's like this, you know, this play, Coulson's going to get blocked. He's going to power back up and get the two. They didn't show the two, but it's one of those tough games. People are going to have to tough this one out, and 16-14 tells you everything you need to know. This is going to go one of those toe-to-toe guys where people are going to go at each other, and physicality is going to be important. So it's it's a great start. I think this game's going to be tight all the way.
Well, we had two crackers yesterday. We saw Nizhny go up on top by 8 points against Casademont Zaragoza, but they weren't able to extend that lead. And of course, Casademont Zaragoza came back and won it pretty convincingly at the end. Well, really over the last couple minutes, but we saw Pinar Karsiaka just really struggling to stay in the game, riding the back of Raymar Morgan in the first half, but then he got a lot of help in the second half, and they ended up winning their game against Ehrenberg. So now we've seen Lenovo Tenerife go up by 8 points, only for Strasbourg to close that gap back to 2 points. We heard Chus Vitoretta saying before the game he didn't feel like it's never enough time to prepare for a game like this or a final late. They've had a couple of days to get ready for this. They've had such a busy schedule. Fittipaldo now is going to have to launch it. He gets blocked by Lansdowne. Great defense.
Yep. But that's what they can do every single possession. It has to be at that level. And that's the thing that intrigues me about this. Both teams are at a really high level now in terms of what they're trying to do defensively, how they're trying to actually just go through this game. So they really are counteracting each other, but they've just got to be relentless in that effort. If one of them just steps off a little defensively, the offense that's going on the floor is going to create the open look.
And this time Rodriguez picks up the foul, trying to get around the screen that was the pick that was being set by Udino. Udino's
Jeff, you
definitely
talk about the schedules.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say he's definitely making a lot of contact out there, isn't he?
Yeah. Tenerife schedule, they got a pounding by Fuenlabrada at the weekend in the ACB, and I don't care what you say about preparing for games going forward. A 30-point loss is a 30-point loss, and that's unusual for Tenerife to get literally beaten that badly. So it doesn't look like it's had an effect on them at the moment, but fatigue for these guys this year is going to be a real challenge as the season starts to close out.
So Bonzi Colson comes back in for Lansdowne. Justa comes back in for Fittipaldo. As Tenerife still on top by 2 points. Tough physical encounter here in Nizhny Novgorod. The Basketball Champions League Final 8, third quarter final. Tenerife trying to win the Basketball Champions League for the second time. And with 4.8 seconds on the shot clock, Mayo fouled out on the perimeter.
They did a great job for 20 seconds. They kept the ball never got anywhere near foul line extended. They never got into anything they were trying to run. The defense was just exceptional. And Amal just wanted a little too much, but you can't take it. You can't stop him doing that. That's what his game's about, making plays.
And making plays is what Huertas just did. Udino hands it off to Bahacic. Bahacic fouled by Shermadini. Well, these teams are definitely attacking defensively out on the perimeter, aren't they?
Absolutely. And it's I'm sure even the officials are going to enjoy this one because there's so much action, so many screens. It's a tough game to follow. This is a challenge for the officials. They'll come out of this knowing they've been in a game. Oh, what a move!
Absolutely, male. I mean, it's not always pretty, but it is effective.
I don't actually think the game is getting out of control from a refereeing perspective, but they're starting to call it a little tight because they are really going at it. And I think that these three being three very experienced officials is just going to try and keep a lid on it a little bit. But the defense is just phenomenal both ways. They literally are. Neither team is getting to run what it wants to run.
Well, it's been those workhorses from Strasbourg that have got him back in the game. Now Jefferson is back in. And Dornekamp, meanwhile, shows that he's still okay, despite a couple of knocks, because he knocks one down from the arc. And that leads to a timeout from Strasbourg.
Wow, the slow-mo is great to just explain the point. Great penetration. And 4 blue shirts had to worry about what was going on down the middle of the floor, the chance to make the pass. Dornekamp lifts, he's wide open, and Wirtz is always going to find him. So that's the challenge for Strasbourg. You've got to pick your poison.
And we still live with their pull-up. We contested great from the corner. One tip, when we switch the elbow screen, they don't even look at inside. When they use this and we switch, they automatically kick it back. You can close your eyes, run, steal, and dunk. They have no other solution. So next time here, deny the reverse. Let's go flash. Flash like that. Paul to Ike. Brandon cut. Here. Leo. Screen. Bonusy. Back.
I think Toive is very good with his timeouts, and he doesn't wait around. I mean, if he sees something that needs addressing, he will just use it. I think Vitoretto will try to let his guys figure it out a little bit longer, but Toive does a good job with his timeouts.
It's an interesting timeout, Jeff, because when you scout Tenerife, you're worried about the pick and roll. You're worried about that middle pick and roll because Sciamadini rolls really well. The observation, though, of them not looking there because of their help in the switch, that's going to be interesting to watch.
So the drive from Bonzi Colson. And the rebound, Udino gets it back outside to Colson. And Rodriguez does a great job of getting right out on Colson. They don't want to give him any space at all.
Yeah. Well, we said it was going to be a game for the purists, Jeff. Every purist, you know, talks about how effective defenses is. It's definitely a game for the purists.
Shot clock winding down. They've got to rush it, and they don't even recognize that the shot clock was about to expire.
Lenovo Tenerife ball. But before two substitutions for 6.
So Ish Wainwright comes back in for Udino. So one of the enforcers goes out, Udino, as does Cavalier. So let's see again now. I think we've got all 5 starters back on the court. Yeah, we do for SIG Strasbourg. Justa for 3. And just like that, I keep saying Beerstar, Lenovo Tenerife go back up 24-16.
Now, one of my pet hates, you know, if you leave the shooter in the corner who's only 1 pass away from the ball and they kick it back, it's like a shooting drill.
Oh, right place at the right time with Ish Wainwright, but Moran was in the end the guy that gets the basket. And that size, good size evident for Strasbourg on that sequence. Justa again, second in a row. You got to learn your lesson. And I guess just like that, the game changer is Santi Justa.
Timeout Strasbourg.
Same thing,
Wow.
Jeff. Leave 1 pass away, open 3. And if it's a shot like you take in a drill, you're going to make a lot. That was the first one he made, and the exact same thing happened. different action, but same process. Left foot person in the corner to get involved with the ball and used to just drill back-to-back threes. 9-point lead in Tenerife. This is Tenerife basketball now. Strasbourg, you've got to try and build a comeback against the most efficient team in the league. That's not easy. And the last thing, Jeff, there was a pick and roll, and they didn't switch it. And then because they didn't switch it, they end up disorganized defensively. And in not switching it, which is what Tiobe didn't want, he wanted to keep switching it. They result in the first of the 2 threes, and it's that's just great recognition by Tenerife.
6 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 27-18, Lenovo Tenerife.
Okay, so Santa used to look at that. 9 points. And we're still in the first half. Another he's played for Spain and their national team for those European qualifiers for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. So players of high pedigree. Jefferson, that's good. Well, they needed him to come out and do something, and he finally gets it. We've seen Strasbourg come back once already from several points down. And now Fran Guerra fouls Jefferson, just kind of threw his backside into him.
Yep. You can't pivot into the player on that handoff. Now, Villarreal will say he's got to have space to pivot, therefore he should be entitled to space on the floor, but not like that. He just cleared out the space. And I'm never going to disagree with these 3 officials, so they're 3 of the best. So
Substitution for Lenovo Tenerife. Back onto the court.
Guerra comes out. Shermadini is back in. 5:50 remaining in the first half. And Bonzi Colson with a turnaround. Misses. Santa Justa with the rebound. Just so many different options really for both of these teams. And Santa Justa has certainly come to the fore. Huertas misses. Rebound Moran. Now Jefferson felt the contact, thought he was going to get a call, and Ish Wainwright hustled, got the basketball. Lansdowne, however, missed from the corner.
Why that wasn't a foul, I don't know. I mean, because he left the floor, you'll say to players, step in, draw the contact. He obviously got hit, no call.
Dornekamp, will it be a second? Yes, it is. 2 threes for Aaron Dornekamp. Colson, pretty quiet for a player of his stature. Moran goes right at, how about that? Goes right at Shermadini. He could almost go up and try to dunk that. He's not really giving away much size at all, is he, against Shermadini? Here's Moran getting a hand up in the face of Dornekamp. Colson gets it to Moran. He goes right at Dornekamp. Brought the ball down, and then coming from behind and swatting it out of bounds was Shermadini.
Moran has got quickness. This is not the way that he needs to play. He's not going to barrel through these guys. They're just queuing up. Find some space, do things a bit quicker, and his athleticism will give him the advantage. He's just played into the hands of, 2 meters. Just to check Shermadini's action. 2 meters 17. You can't go slow over 217.
Colson with a pump fake, takes a shot. He's always got players flying at him. Oh, look at the pass, and then the hustle as well from Ish Wainwright. Excellent defense from both teams.
Absolutely, and that's my point about Strasbourg here. They've got some real athletes. They've got some guys who can make plays like this. Their athleticism, their quickness. their defense so far has really been based on that. They're doing a great job. You'd like to see a little bit more athleticism going the other way, a little bit more quickness at the offensive end. I think may give them, you know, that extra piece that they're missing at the moment, trailing 7.
Lands down, crosses up Sulemanovic, and then gets tripped.
Number 4, Santi Yusa. His first penalty. On the line, DeAndre Lindsdorf. Correction. Number 24, Ismail Wainwright will shoot 2.
So Strasbourg back to within 5 points. A little bit of full court pressure now. Sulemanovic gets past his man and drives in. And this time Sulemanovic gets it to go and has a chance for a 3-point play. Well, looked like he was even going to go for the dunk there. He was still able to make the shot. Just saw Tyler Cavanaugh over there on the bench. He hasn't even played.
No.
For Tenerife.
About to say, Jeff. Yeah, he hasn't played, and it's. I suppose in Vidioretta's case, he has so many options. Maybe Cavanaugh's carrying an injury, or something minor. May need to try to keep him for later in this fine late tournament if he gets through. But it's not as if his team is like struggling for talent with that depth. They're so deep.
3 minutes to go in the first half. And the 3-point shot is good from Ish Wainwright.
Wow, they needed that. They needed some action from the 3-point line, and he just gave him it.
Back to Justa. Uh-oh, that's another 3. Santa Justa. Some kind of shooter. But again, the 3-pointer, and this time from Jefferson, the president.
What's happened, Jeff? 17 minutes, no one can make a 3, and all of a sudden they're going in from everywhere. All of a sudden, looks like an easy game from the perimeter.
Well, we're thinking it might be Saline who did all the damage, but it's been Justa for Tenerife and also Dornekamp. There's Sulemanovic, and not to settle for a couple of free throws. And Sulemanovic is causing problems, isn't he?
Whether it be on this team in Tenerife or with the Bosnian national team, he's one of those guys, I think, who's maybe slightly undersized, but he just never stops working. He never stops trying to be the aggressive player offensively. He just makes things happen for himself because he just will play through anything. He'll take it over people. He just is really, really aggressive in the actions to the basket. Just love him on your team. He's going to come in, give you real energy for 5-6 minutes. He'll sit down. He's ready whenever you need him. It's been a great move for him to get to Tenerife.
I was a little surprised he didn't play more than he did at the start of the season, but all credit to him. I mean, he said he was just going to try to get better as a player, and I guess he was patient, and he's earned his minutes. And we watched Bosnia and Herzegovina qualify for the FIBA Eurobasket, and he had a major role in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got to work your way into Coach Vidioretta's rotations. There's a lot of complicated stuff offensively, and you've got to find your way in the system.
Cavalier goes baseline and puts it up and in.
Wow, we have a game now. We have a real game now.
Just think about all of the adversity that Strasbourg have had to overcome this season. I mean, it's been a backs to the wall campaign for them. Here's Justa again. I mean, the guy is playing out of his skin. I wonder if we can get Justa this, because he is playing like a superstar. Look at him. We've seen him shoot it from deep, and here he is just going right to the rim. Just shows that beautiful touch off the glass. Having come back from that serious knee injury, serious left knee injury, and he's been arguably their most important player in this first half. Well, does not complete the three-point play, however. Jefferson and Santa Justa called for the foul. 14 points for Santa Justa.
Substitution.
Both teams over the limit, so free throws coming for Jefferson.
Against Justa. Penalty.
Jeff, for me, I was so disappointed when he had the knee injury, because he just come off of a great performance in the Intercontinental Cup in Tenerife when Tenerife won it. 30 points in the semi-final there, and it was like it's very similar to today, Jeff. Everyone's looking around at Salin, perhaps. Justa just came into that game, shot the ball well, finished around the basket well, came up with steals. In many ways, he was a good bet for the MVP of the competition. Huertas got that for Tenerife, but it was just almost like a breakout announcement for him. And then he had the knee injury, and that's so hard to come back for, but hey, he looks like he's right back now.
Yeah, and who knows, he might be part of that transition for Spain as they move on from some of the veterans, perhaps, at the next Eurobasket.
That's a great call. He's one of those guys that can make things happen. Oh.
And wait, are they going to count? And it's Alexander Glizic has called a charge. I think he's called it as a hook.
Called a hook, yeah.
Because I think Zarapovic initially might have been calling it the other way, but Glizic, I think, might have had better position. Look at this. Oh, well, yeah, he got him on the head. Yeah. Look at this.
And you know what? Maybe he only got him on the head, Jeff, because he's 217. I mean, it's one of those things I think sometimes big guys get a little unfairly treated. Yeah, but he did put the palm of his hand on the defensive player, and only because he's 217 was he around the head. So but they're going to call it offensive the other way now. So nothing but consistent.
Yep. Interesting that Fittipaldi, you know, we talk about the three-point shooters for Tenerife, and the guys that immediately would come to mind would be Salin, possibly Fittipaldi. And I mean, I know that, you know, we know that Justa can shoot it, but gosh knows, Tenerife they've got a lot of depth when it comes to their perimeter shooting, don't they?
Yep.
Got numerous weapons.
Especially when they take only good ones. You know, they move it so they get an open one. They take very few false ones.
Look at that! Sharing the basketball and dunking it was Sulemanovic. Wonderful pass. And Udino lost control of it as he got into the paint, so a real opportunity here for Tenerife. They're already up 7, the final seconds ticking off the clock in the first half. And the foul called, it looks like, on Coulson.
Jeff, how many times have we seen that situation where Tenerife, it's been a really tight game, and then at the end of a quarter, they go on a little run to get into the half with real momentum. But how does Huertas manufacture that one?
Well, honestly, Mark, it kind of caught me off guard there. I thought they'd called the foul before the shot. Now I see the emotion, a three-point play. Disaster for Strasbourg on that one. I mean, Huertas is just a magician with the basketball sometimes. Well, big opportunity to get to Jefferson, and oh boy, he got the shot he wanted. He just could not get it to go. Great finish to the first half by Tenerife. Good sportsmanship there by Dornekamp to help up Jefferson. Tenerife on top, 44-34 at halftime.
С абсолютно всеми присутствующими на арене в данную секунду, поэтому далеко не уходите. Как только команды покинут арену, мы начнем играть.
Well, there's the numbers, Jeff. The last time we had, look at this, at the end of the first quarter, no threes had been made in the game at that point. It's still not a great, phenomenal three-point shooting game, but Tenerife got them in a bunch there. It really did contribute to that 10-point lead. Not a surprise to see them in double digits already. And on top of that, Huertas with his assist has also got the 9 points, but Justa, as you called in the commentary, has just had a phenomenal second quarter.
Well, you look at all these highlights and you can understand how Tenerife, I mean, do you think it's fair to say, Mark, that their focus might just be a little bit different this year compared to how they went into the Final Eight last year? Obviously, last year was so difficult with the COVID and everything.
Well, and also they had that quarterfinal against another ACB team, and you know, it was at the beginning of the season, very much a different circumstance. They've been through the emotion and they've been through the hard work of a regular season, and there's that connection. I don't know if their focus is different, but I do think that their approach to this has been much more, this is the flow coming out of the season. I think lots of teams struggled in that Final Eight in Athens because it was almost a preseason tournament with lots of new players on lots of teams. So I think that's the biggest difference they'll find. The great thing for me, Jeff, about this Tenerife team is so much continuity. A lot of players have been here for a number of years, and I think it's a real model for, you know, clubs maybe at that, just below that high spend, really high spending level, how best to build a program. Tenerife is a great example.
Okay, well, as you look at Ish Wainwright, obviously very important to the calls, and he does have 7 points. You feel like the guy that they've got to get going is Bonzi Colson.
Absolutely, Jeff, and they've only shot 2 free throws, Strasbourg, in the whole of the half, and that's one that's great. Great defense, controlled defense, etc. by Tenerife, but with their quickness, their ability to get to the basket, and Coulson in particular, inside and outside, they've got to find ways, you know, to be more aggressive and be more, you know, attack the ring and move the defense that Tenerife have.
So for Tenerife, we've been talking a lot about this player today, Santi Justa. And again, Santi Justa has just been on fire from 3-point range. 3 of 4 from deep, and he's also hit a couple shots inside the arc. Had a terrific take late in that second quarter where he had a chance for a 3-point play. He missed the free throw. Just got a magnificent follow through, doesn't he? And just a terrific weapon.
Well, it's a great, without the crowd here, you get to hear the players, and you heard Jefferson say on that play that don't help, and Eustace wide open because they did help, but Eustace still got to make the shot, and as you say, technique-wise, Jeff, it's out of the top drawer. Just a super player, and it's great to see a player come back off of an injury.
Gets the ball back. Here's Akun Purcell. Oh, he gets in and gets double digits in style. Throws it down. He's got 11. Look at this.
Now Voloncevic. Good defensive possession, but great ball movement. Kicks it back out. Look at this, Casey Shepherd. Shepherd back in. Oh, what a team play that is. One of the team plays of the week, no doubt.
Kennedy with the rebound. He'll push this. You've got to stop DJ Kennedy in transition. Oh, he's going to go all the way. Kennedy taps himself on the head, as if to say, I wear the crown.
He just puts the defense on his backside, and that is Jeremy Boschek, who is no slouch. And that is a wonderful bit of individual offensive play by Keith Langford.
Sarum, a bounce pass. Bitton drives in. Are you kidding me? What a throwdown from Bitton.
Ennis pulls up, Hail Mary. It's good! It's good! He got it! Big shot 3! Dylan Ennis from no man's land. 1, 2, 3 puntos. Buenas noches, Zaragoza.
By Bamberg, attacked. Fieler, chase Fieler with the throwdown. Biggest play of the night.
Oh, they go lob. Zeus got it. Game! Hold on!
Madsen drives in. Oh, goodness me. Did you see that? He put it down with some thunder. Look at this. Throwing it down. Jefferson gets it over to Colson. He puts it up for 3. Good! Bonte calls that, wins the game. Unbelievable. What a finish.
systems, they'll move the ball. The only difference is they'll make some threes or miss some threes, etc. But their level of execution is so consistent, and the tempo of the game is so consistent. And the issue Strasbourg are going to be having mentally now is how do they change that tempo? As I said before the game, only Burgos got Tenerife into a quicker game. Number of shots, the possessions, etc. Only the Burgos game was played at a higher tempo. Every other game you look at, it's so consistent in tempo. Let's listen to Coach Tuove. That's a great question.
Very small things, details. We let Justa being hot over there. They found their shooters better and better. We need to a little bit adapt on that and be tougher. Couple of and ones, couple of those things. You know, this is a game of momentums and very simple things defensively to improve and get going.
Thank you very much.
Coach is so right. It's a few simple things, but a few simple things get so exploited by Tenerife. They just make the most of those advantages that they get. I'm sure we're going to hear Coach Vidiareta.
What do you need to avoid to keep the lead?
We need to make the same job in defense, improve a little bit in the defensive rebound, and control the turnovers as we controlled in the second quarter, and try to play in the same way in offense, trying to look for our focuses when we are better than them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know, Mark, it was actually in this very arena when they played Nizhny Novgorod back in the playoffs when they trailed by 15 points, and they came back to win that game by 10. I mean, that's a 25-point turnaround.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe they've forgotten about that, or maybe somebody said something, but, you know, SIG Strasbourg knows that, yeah, you know, the game isn't over until it's over, and they'll have all their chances. And that was actually early in the second half when they were down that much against Nizhny Novgorod.
The issue, in terms of it's the trial, if you want, that the team that scores more points per possession than any other team in the BCL has a 10-point advantage on you. So how are you going to get them to have fewer points per possession? And I think they found that answer. Their defense was exceptional for a period, Strasbourg, but then they left the shooter, as Coach said. They allowed the three-point shooter to be found. Well, most of that was down to them one pass away from the basketball, leaving the basketball and leaving the denial on the defense. They've got to be 100% like keyed in to that defensive role and responsibility, and then they've got a chance. As soon as they lose it, Tenerife exploit you.
Well, second half action underway. Tenerife up by 10 points. It's SIG starting with possession. And it's Bonzi Colson launching it and just grazing the net.
I hope, Jeff, he doesn't go looking for things. You know, if he goes looking for things like anybody, if you go looking for it, you force it, you take shots that might not be in your rhythm, then you're going to go looking for it more, and your performance just falls apart. And he's too important for that to happen.
Uh-oh, Justa left open, and they live dangerously. SIG Strasbourg. And
someone forgot. Where was that? Whoever it was defensively, didn't they? Weren't they there in the first half? It's like there's a down screen. You've got to switch to deny the guy coming off. It just happens to be the leading scorer in the game. That's the big example of dodging a bullet.
If you think about it, is it really possible to dodge a bullet? It's really more of a case of the bullet just misses you. Nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice move by. I don't know whoever invented that phrase. You'd have to be an awful long way away to dodge a bullet. Exactly. Shermadini gets it down low, and I don't like laughing at my own jokes, but it's true. Yeah.
I know, but it's true. It's true. We all use that phrase, and we go, hey. As you just said, how the hell are you dodging a bullet unless you are in the Matrix? Hey, Jeff, sometimes the defense you have to play against Tenerife, you need to be that type of guy to stop them scoring.
Well, maybe if they could slow it down like the Matrix, they would improve their chances. You never know.
Well, he might get out and challenge that jump shot. And not, if they'd have done that, we wouldn't have had this conversation.
Well, Shermadini, who I understand doesn't like the nickname that rhymes with Terminator, so we're not going to use it, makes the free throws. And the lead goes back to 46-36. Here's Colson. This time he's open, and there the follow. Bohacic goes up strong. He's got to make that shot as he goes up. But as it is, he'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Times are hard for Bonzi Colson at the moment. That's a gimme for him normally. Nice execution coming off the pick and roll, gets just above the foul line, time, space. You know, that's something he would knock down in his sleep normally. And he's just lost that rhythm at the moment. He's just got to stay with it, keep taking the shots that are his shots. He can't get outside what's good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been in this situation before. He'll keep putting them up.
Yeah.
I mean, the great shooters never lose confidence. Well, Bohacic makes both free throws. And really what happened, you know, even more crucially than Colson making free throws is what happens when Strasbourg are on this end of the floor and possibly even turn defense to offense. Uh-oh, they lose sight once again of Justa! They should be used to that, but they're not. And he hits another one. He is certainly playing like a saint. Wow, how about that? Moran. Moran shows Colson, come on, Bonzi, this is what you should be doing. I'm going to do it now. But Moran has a nice touch.
Yeah, he does. I think he could be a real asset to any team.
Oh boy, Shermadini going old school and just a little too far out. I think Kareem could probably make that one, but here's Jefferson. Stops, comes back out. Now Bohacic. Oh, Bohacic is just masterful. Somehow, boy, Moran's becoming a factor. And Shermadini got all ball, went out of bounds. Great work by Moran to get this.
Yeah. And Jeff, he's got to do it for the whole time he's on the floor. He's got to use that quickness. He's got a little bit more athleticism than Shermadini. Play him a bit quicker, get off the floor a little bit quicker.
Boy, look at that. Terrific work by Bohacic. And by the way, it was the quick hands of Dornekamp who knocked it out on that previous attempt. Just little things like that for Dornekamp that just make him such a great player. Another three-pointer. Oh, wow. This is getting absolutely ridiculous. Now Sergio Rodriguez puts it up and in.
Extra pass again. They share the ball.
Oh, nice bounce pass. Well, he'll take that. Anything to get it to go through the hoop. Plenty of time for Strasbourg. Plenty.
Time's not the issue, is it, at all? It's this end of the floor. They've just got to get themselves back in it. They get enough stops.
Dornekamp open. It's good. Well, they're going to have to go to plan B on defense, I think. That's what the timeout is for, because Tenerife continue to knock down the three-pointers.
And it's always the same, you know, inside, outside, or you step off the mound one pass away, and you're giving up open looks from the three. And Tenerife will just keep doing the same thing until you stop them. They ain't if it's not broken, they ain't going to try and fix it.
Short roll. Campbell, take a foul. We have one team foul. Now you let them do the passing game. Campbell on it. Yeah, it's the whole one, you know, the safety who goes. We good? All right. We play special for you or Jaromir? Which way? It don't matter. Let's sacrifice. Jaromir, bring it up. Pass to Leo. Jaromir stagger for Brandon.
He's trying to address the passing game of Tenerife.
Yep.
More so than stopping him from shooting the three-pointers.
Yeah,
it's all
it's
related.
the fact that, yeah, it's the fact they'll go inside with the pass with little pressure, and then too many people. What he was asking again, though, Jeff, as well, was to gamble into the passing lane. So don't get drawn down to the ball. If they make it on the inside or force them to take a tough one, but gamble in the passing lanes. They're going to pass the ball, well, then gamble.
And here's another worrying aspect for you is that Sasu Saline, and nobody knows this better than Lasu Tuovi, could turn it on big time. So he still has to go, but that's a great sign right there that Jefferson comes out and drills the three. Yep. You're only talking about 3-4 possessions. So
that's it.
I think it should be 54-47 right now, not 54-46. Now the pass down low, and Fran Greta called for the travel. I think for some reason, I don't know if there's like a dispute. They might want to look at it, whether or not Jefferson was a three-pointer or had his foot on the line. Okay, sorry, was that no, that was a travel. Yeah, from Frank Greta.
Yeah. Yeah, the referees called it as a three, though, so I'm not really sure how they've... a little bit of discrepancy. Nice shot.
So 54.
Well, one way or another, Jeff, they've got it to 49, which is where it should be.
Dornekamp. Oh boy, he takes a tough three with the shot clock about to expire. He had no other option, and look who's battling for the rebound, but Cavalier.
That's what Tiovi's talking about. No one left the passing lane, so by the time he caught it, he had no space to play, and they made him take a tough one. But they can't go down the other end of the floor and just cough up the possession in a really unnecessary way.
Cavalier has really become one of my favorite players. I mean, I love, you just know he's basically Strasbourg's version of Dornekamp. He is putting his nose where it's not wanted. He is going for it. And it's not always pretty, but it is effective. Now, in comes, oh, what a rejection that was. Was that Lansdowne? Or was that Cavalier with the block? It was so fast.
And technical for goal against them.
Boy, Cavalier with the swat.
Timing. Massive.
He heard me. He heard me. Look at this.
See, Wertas didn't like it, gets the technical foul.
And this is a big, I would say, significant weakness of Marcelinho Huertas. Why? Why complain about that now?
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, Jeff. And look at the score now. 4-point game. They've really established some momentum with their defense. They're going to get the basketball now with a half-court possession. They score now. They keep that momentum going. They're right back. Could be a 1 or a 2-point game, and they're the team that has the momentum. And they've started at their defensive end. Tiovi asked them to gamble. They've extended their defense. They're in the passing lane, and they've been rewarded. But they have to do it every possession.
And Chus Vitoretta has taken out Huertas after the technical, so I don't think he was enamored with that either. Glisic this time calls the charge, so good job by Saline stepping in front of Cavalier.
That's just, it's a poor decision, Jeff. It's Strasbourg coming down the floor with the momentum, end up trying to play it in traffic on the dribble, move the ball. Look at that, three yellow shirts around the ball. Cavalier is as good as he's been. It wasn't really his problem. He was trying to unpick the problem because they just didn't run anything to spread the floor and create advantage. And they could have missed a massive opportunity in a game of real small margins.
Saline steps back. Fittipaldo over to Dornekamp again. His progress stopped. Dornekamp. And look at the hustle down low by Sulemanovic. Keeps it. Now Fittipaldo. And Mai goes for the rebound. Can't get it. Sulemanovic. Wow.
Again, Jeff, you mentioned him in the first half. You know, some of the stuff he does, like that won't show up in the stat line. He kept it alive, and they end up with possession on the sideline. That's not going to show up in his stat line, but Videoretta's standing on the sideline thinking, man, he's doing a great job for me. I've got people off the floor. He's keeping it alive. He's going to love his contribution.
Well, I'm so impressed by some of these less heralded players of Tenerife in this game. And that pass goes out of bounds, so the turnover on Santayusa trying to get a layup. He saw Greta.
Yeah, that's not the sort of pass that Guerrera's going to catch, is it?
So Mai back in the game.
Big 3 minutes. Big 3 minutes, Jeff, for Strasbourg. You know, they've got to build on this momentum, not turn it over just like that, and they're going to get bowed out.
Yeah.
Fortunate, so fortunate, that one.
Lansdowne thought he turned it over. They were, very lucky. Or sorry, Udine. No, it was Lansdowne.
Yeah,
Lansdowne. Falling down.
This is where, if you're Tenerife, you come down the floor and you run something that's going to get you a shot that you want. That's what Strasbourg have to do right now. Get their hands in the ball at the right man.
Third team foul. Fittipaldo has been just almost, we've hardly said his name, have we?
Absolutely.
Mai taking the contact, boy, throws it, dangerous pass. Cavalier misses and then knocks it out of bounds.
Same problem, Jeff. Same problem. You've got to get a shot that you want to take and not just try and manufacture it. Against a team like Tenerife, they'll take that. Whereas when they get it, they're going to move it like this.
Well, great defense, and it leads to a break for Jefferson. He steps back. Cavalier for the rebound. I think that was, I don't have a problem with him pulling up and shooting the three. Lansdowne for three, that's short. No, it was such a bad shot. Cavalier was able to get the rebound. Wow, what a crazy situation. You would think Strasbourg, out of those 3 attempts, would get something to go.
I tell you what, that you are right, Jeff. You know, in that moment, the open three on the end of the break, he's got numbers down the floor to try and get to the offensive glass. Yeah, take it. And then Cavalier again outworks everybody. Then he gets a little unfortunate with the block. But it is those guys, as you said, they're going to play this way. Yeah.
He was blocked by the backboard. That's like one of my shots. Now, Fittipaldo misses. Mai puts the pressure on into the corner. Jefferson. Oh, excellent work by Mai to bat it out to Lansdowne. Again, it's not pretty, but it's effective. Jefferson looking very presidential. He puts it up. Good! Finally! And it's a 1-point game! They've got to believe in themselves. SIG Strasbourg. And Mark, you have to admire, boy, he was dangerously close to leading with that elbow and getting perhaps a foul called on Sulemanovic. He had plenty of time to set his feet. And again, he had missed a couple of shots, but you know what? He's a good shooter. He never lost faith in himself.
And that's the thing, you know, a 9-point advantage on the quarter, and Jefferson, his job is to shoot the ball. If it was other players shooting it, you go, why are they taking it? That's what he's supposed to do. Statistically, he's going to make that shot because he's missed the 2 before. He's going to make it.
No más pérdidas. Buenos tiros, confianza en los tiros abiertos. Y un pase más, si no, cuando tenemos tiempo de sobra. ¿Vale?
Jeff Kavanagh must have some sort of injury. There's no way he would have taken no part in this game. They've done well to keep that one quiet from everybody, the amount of media that covers these events right now.
I don't think his absence has really hurt them, to be honest. I mean, I think that they've, some of the, like I said, the less heralded guys have come out and really performed well.
I think
Sulemanovic, I think, is probably getting minutes that would go to him. And also Rodriguez.
You're right. Yeah. And but with the thing with Tenerife is that the team is everything, isn't it? So if Kavanagh doesn't play, someone else is going to step into that role, and they're all good players. Jefferson has 14 points now, starting to accumulate. Great help.
Oh, look at the defense, and they're going to get a breakaway. Lansdowne and SIG Strasbourg have taken the lead.
Super job defensively. The way they showed to help on the baseline side and forced the pass, and as Tove implored them to do, they stayed in the passing lanes. Great job.
Huertas is back in the game, passes, and they're going to make Shermadini go to the line to earn it.
This is the physicality they need to bring. There's no way they should let him have that easy one. They got to foul hard in that situation. Shermadini looks at the official. It's a legitimate attempt to try and block it.
Absolutely. No. Absolutely. You know what? I was thinking that might have been like a bad boy type foul, but it wasn't. Udino was just going for the ball.
No. Yep. He's going to go and get the ball, or it's going to be a foul. And that's fine. That's life, right? That's how it is. You don't ask for anything on the inside like that. You got to go through contact.
Well, Mark, I have to own up. I mean, I was asked to make predictions for all the games, and my prediction was that Tenerife was going to win this game and go on and win the title. And I know that got to that was in the Champions League, Basketball Champions League podcast. I know it found its way to the Strasbourg locker room. So I'm going to look pretty silly if Tenerife go out here in this first game. And right now, it looks very possible the way Strasbourg have really rallied.
I'm going to back you up here. Breathe before the game. That's what most people would have predicted. But everybody did also predict it was going to be a tight one, and that's what we've got. It was always neither of these teams. Pour points in a hurry. They sort of work games through, and now you're talking a fourth quarter where we're going to go into it. It's going to be a 10-minute game where it could be a 0-0 start the way it's looking at the moment. 50 seconds to go. And again, each team has a player or one or two players that have been underachieving or under-contributing. Coulson hasn't made the impact you'd like him to make. And Salin has been quiet, so someone's going to get going in the fourth.
Oh, beautiful foul. Oh, look at that. Oh, and the follow is Wainwright.
That's always been, for me, the way Strasbourg could compete here. Use that quickness, use the athleticism, be the aggressor. And that counteracts some of the maybe technical advantage that Tenerife have.
Taking the three, missing badly was Fittipaldo. And Strasbourg have the last shot, unless they turn it over here. Jefferson. Final seconds ticking off the clock. He just launches it. And an attempt from Ish Wainwright. Game on. Wow, what a final eight it has been. They were down 10 points at halftime, and Strasbourg have come back and taken the lead. 57-56 over Lenovo Tenerife, 10 minutes remaining.
Well, these stats are going to look, it's a 1-point game, so obviously they're going to be the other key there. They've been to the line 5 times in that quarter. They only went twice in the whole of the first half. It's become a more physical game by Strasbourg, as these best plays, I'm sure, are going to show. They're going to be the aggressor, moves to the basket, being much more physical, and I think that's been one of the most decisive factors in that big turnaround in the third quarter.
I think the great thing about this game, well, not the great thing, but one of the interesting aspects and great things about the game is that you have players like Santa Justa, you know, Cavalier, Moran. You know, you expect the headline makers to always come out and be the stars of the show, but you know, it just shows how this is really a team game, and tactically, you know, the opposing coach is going to try to take away your biggest weapon, and the other guys have to step up. And today we've seen it. You know, we've seen it with Sulemanovic come out and play well for Tenerife. Perhaps Jefferson is the one player that you should know that can really hurt you, and he has hurt Tenerife. But look at Cavalier going up for that block. And I believe that was the one that Huertas got the technical on.
Yep.
So just all in all, it's just been a terrific quarterfinal.
Well, we made the point earlier on that I didn't think that they could play Shamadini one-on-one. He started the game like he was going to be dominant. He's only taken 3 field goals, and he took 2 of those in the first, literally first two out of the first 3 possessions. And the only other field goal was the old school skyhook. Now that's strategically they've done a good job of not allowing him to catch the ball. From the other perspective, he's not been overplayed with minutes as such. He's played 23 minutes, Shamadini, so he's been out there a long time. That's a poor return for him. Somehow they're going to have to get him the ball, but he's being out-athleted at the moment. It's the way that Shamadini has struggled in some games.
Well, here he is, and it was Wainwright. Wasn't going to give him position.
Yep.
It's all about position, isn't it?
Yep, for him, totally.
Yeah, there comes a point where...
Yeah.
His 4th. Team first, Wainwright. Replaced by number 4.
There comes a point when...
That's his 4th foul, yeah.
Okay, so that was the bad part of that foul.
No, but Jeff, I think you know, what both of us are saying here is you've just got to give that up for the team. You know, you've got to make that foul. You can't allow him to get going. So, like, okay, take the foul while the ball's on the floor. Make Tenerife, you know, work for it to get in the half court, and don't let Shamadini get going. So, okay, it's Ishmael,
and Satu Salin has just been hit with a technical foul because he thought he was fouled here by Moran.
Oh, that's poor by Salin. There's no way that's a really bad miscall that he would warrant saying anything about it.
Nah, I would think that this is they play right on the edge sometimes with how they go after it with the referees, and they've been punished twice today, getting technicals. I don't know what he said. Maybe it was the way he said it. Here's Lansdowne going down the lane. Count it.
Down 1.
Goodness gracious.
It's the quickness again. Attack the player, and poor defensive angle. Gave the middle straight down there. No adjustment from the help. And Tenerife are in a bit of a hole at the moment. I don't know where they're going to get the lift from. Normally it's Huertas who leads them from the point, and he'll distribute the basketball. But they're struggling for some leadership on the floor at the moment.
Oh, the offensive rebound by Moran, and Yanis Moran, huge factor in the second half.
Yeah.
Cavalier. Oh, forced that one.
Yeah, the dribble killed him. Pass was there when he caught it. The dribble just allowed the defense to adjust. But they just come at your tempo, don't they? Tenerife, they'll slow it, they'll run their half court. You've got to play defense for the whole 24.
Over to Dornekamp from the stripe. Well, it was an open shot, but it was a tough shot. But he made it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jeff. They made him bounce it. They made him put it on the floor. They made him make a tough one off balance.
See if Moran goes right at Shermadini. Yes, he does. Oh, didn't get any love from the rim. It comes out, and now Tenerife can tie it or take the lead. Huertas wide open. The shots aren't quite as easy to make, are they, when you're trailing? And now Mai has it.
It's great. You can hear Tuovi's on the sideline. He's just desperate for him to move the ball.
And good defense. The reach by Huertas. Mai looks over at the referee to say, come on. There's a little bit of contact there. Watch this. Yeah, that was a foul.
There's definitely a little bit of contact.
To put it mild. To put it mildly. I think he needs to give him his arm
from the
back.
Sideline. Yeah, exactly. But Tuovi from the sideline, he's just desperate for the ball not to stick. You can hear him say, move it, move it, move it, because if he moves the ball, he shifts that Tenerife defense, and that means he'll get the ability to attack the ring. When they hold it, they're struggling to find a drive lane.
Well, Cavalier has to put up a prayer. Look at Mai get it. And Colson slides to his left. And it's not his game so far. He misses another one. And again, I think that was the case of forcing it. They had a new 14.
Yep. If he'd have caught it and been open and shot it, great.
Rodriguez misses. Nobody keeps Sulemanovic off the glass. Fittipaldo, and now he misses. Look at Sulemanovic. He's a warrior in there.
Yeah, both teams now, Jeff, relying on just that effort. Neither team in any rhythm offensively for the shots, and both teams are going so hard to the glass, and no one going harder than Sulemanovic. I'm sure those two have, they're probably arranging their drink for after the game, Jeff. They've probably spoken a lot, you know. They've known each other for a long time, and I think Villarreal's getting a little bit agitated. He doesn't think he's getting any love at the moment. But 17-8 on the offensive boards. Huge effort by Strasbourg.
They had the 2 technical fouls, so he's probably using that, trying to use that to his advantage. Sulemanovic catches it and scores an easy one.
Massive contribution from him at the moment. He really is. He's everywhere you need him to be. 100% from the field. He's got his offensive boards.
Oh, bounce pass. Look at that. What a play finished by Mai. Look at the smile by Tuovi. He's like, yes, yes, that's just how we practice. Well done.
Exactly, Jeff. It's like move the ball. You know, move the ball, shift the defense, and then cut or look to attack it on the dribble. So this time it's pass penetration, great drive, great finish. But it's about moving the ball and shifting that defense.
And it was Udino who delivered the pass beautifully. Huertas kicks it to the right. Rodriguez off the back of the iron. They scrap away. Look at it. Sulemanovic once again. The stud from Bosnia and Herzegovina getting after it. Now he gets down low. Passes to an open Huertas who steps in. Now he passes to Dornekamp. They keep the hands up. Dornekamp right at the buzzer. What a shot from the Canadian.
Huge, huge three. Nothing sums up Tenerife basketball more than that. They just wanted a better shot, and they used all 24 seconds to get it.
Mai was open, but the ball wouldn't drop. What a battle. France versus Spain. Strasbourg versus Tenerife. Terrific quarterfinal, and I guess you'd have to say it's probably the best of the 3 quarterfinals so far. The other 2 are pretty tasty as well. Look at that.
But see, the difference now for me in this is that even though they made a great shot, Strasbourg were all over the shot. They had to make a great one. Their defensive effort in this second half has been exceptional. Angle, get your angle right, you won't foul.
So Udino commits foul number 4, and very soon they are going to be in the over the limit.
Jeff, the important thing now, though, is even though they're in the penalty, even though they're in that situation, they can't back down defensively. If they back down, then Tenerife will make shots. They've got to be like so good defensively.
Oh, wow.
And that isn't so good.
Now Huertas just saw an opening, and suddenly Tenerife now go back up by 3 points, and Tuovi calls timeout.
The emphasis is obviously that they're in. Tuovi's asked them to contest passing lane, so they're going to open up that middle a little bit more, but you've got to then contain it at the point of the defense on ball. And Huertas is a tough ask. I mean, he's who hasn't he penetrated past in world basketball?
Switches are not a problem, but handle the 1-on-1. Momentum for the win.
Hey, you want to post? Don't fucking help me on this 22. Nobody help me. 22, he not fucking whatever fucking thing. Everybody stay home.
Hey, we go.
Well, you could hear talking about Sulemanovic being a problem. Don't forget, Lenovo Tenerife are the best free throw shooting team in the Basketball Champions League. And they have a whole cast of characters that shoot it well. Fittipaldo shoots it over 91%. He's hit 21 of 23 on the season. Look at Sasu Saline, 27 of 28. I mean, the only thing is those guys haven't been as impactful in this game. Huertas hadn't missed a free throw coming into this game. Shermadini, 46 of 51. So you don't want to be in a position where you have to foul Tenerife late, and also you're 1 from going over the limit. So that could become a major issue here. Colson takes it and misses, and he's got a little bit of Casey Sheparditis, who had a tough game yesterday for Nizhny Novgorod. Oh, good recovery. Oh, what a play! What a play from Yanis Moran. The block, and then he saved it in bounds. Bohacic drives down. Oh, boy. Right down the lane. Kind of herky-jerky, looked off the defense and had a layup.
Super second step, got so deep, went beyond the defense with that second step. Oh.
Wow. And those two guys certainly have combined on numerous occasions the past couple of seasons. So Tenerife back in front by 3. Lansdowne keeping the basketball away from the defense. Moran open. Oh boy, he's really come to play. He has been huge. Doing everything. Just 1 point in it right now. Huertas gets to the baseline, takes a tough shot. And Santiusta can't save it as he tries to. So now it's Strasbourg with a chance to go back in front.
Again, Jeff, got to credit the Strasbourg defense. The normal thing for Tenerife is we get a replay of that block and recovery, followed up by this beautiful release on the jump shot. They'll go sideline pick and roll and try and create. They just would not allow the screen to be set because they were so high up the lane. They rode the player coming to set the screen, which forced Huertas to try and play one-on-one. Their defense has just been at a different level in this second half.
Jefferson to Moran. Oh, Moran forced that one. He didn't need to take that shot. So now again, another opportunity for Tenerife. 3.5 minutes to go. Fittipaldo snapping his head back, trying to get the foul called. Now, Driving in, and Rodriguez misses. Or sorry, Santa Justa.
Again, super defense, super rotation. Forcing the ball where your defense wants it to go, not where the offense wants to attack.
Bahacic again, able to get it to Moran. Fake, he's charging. Good job by Santa Justa. Last couple of times from Yanis Moran has not made the right decisions. This was the right decision by
disappointing thing,
Bahacic.
Jeff, look, 3 players that Moracic drew.
Just
Moran's
take it
got
right
open
there.
players that are great, yeah, but or he's got open players on the floor that he could just kick the ball to. Know what you do. Lansdowne's one of those players. You know, see your man, give him the ball. You know, your job is fouled out on that foul, and that's a crucial loss for Strasbourg, especially the way he was contributing at both ends of the floor. And all he had to do was, my job is to pass this. In this instance, there are better shooters. Let me pass it, go rebound. That's a tough loss for Strasbourg.
He had hit a couple of shots from mid-range, but oh boy, the alley-oop to Shermadini. So Tenerife moved back in front by 3 points. Wainwright backing up, hands it off, and Udino's touch pass goes off the hands of Bahacic. Bahacic
not tough
pointing
enough,
up,
right?
saying,
No.
I think he was saying you need to shoot that, possibly.
Yeah.
That was just a great pass.
That's two plays in quick succession where they've just thrown it up there and says to Giorgi Shermadini, go get that, and he doesn't need a second. Double for Ertas, 11 and 10.
It doesn't seem like it's been a great game for him, but that just shows how he's such a great player. I mean, he's got 11 and 10. Oh, good hands by Udino. He saves it in bounds. Jefferson hustles, gets to it, and then Huertas, excellent work by him to hustle back on defense.
There's a lot to look at this replay. One is just a great effort. Great hustle. Tremendous hustle again.
Yeah, that's going to be Strasbourg ball.
Yeah, it's got to be a Strasbourg ball. Did they call a foul or not? I'm not sure. They shouldn't have called a foul.
They called the foul. If they called the foul on Huertas, he's unlucky. Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they missed one.
It's not a horrendous call.
Earlier on. No,
it's not a horrendous call, but it's a tough call because he hustled back and got a lot of ball there.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Look at Moran. He's telling himself, I should have shot it. I should have shot it. I just hit one just like that. Why didn't I shoot it? Instead, he's watching.
I go right back to that timeout, Jeff, where Tuobi said you've got to play in the passing lane. You've got to gamble. And that's on so many occasions since that timeout, Strasbourg have fed off that defense, and no more so than that. Just a great effort. And now they've been rewarded. Okay, the foul maybe or maybe not. They make the second free throw. We're back to a one-point game.
You had a few players, extraordinary effort in that one play. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Udino, Jefferson, just all out. Hustle. That's what it takes right now. It's all about effort. Dornekamp, short, and Jefferson rebounds it. And Strasbourg now can take the lead. 1:45 remaining.
I think if they say smart now and move the ball, Strasbourg have a huge chance to make the semifinal.
Wainwright, good, he's a three! Ish Wainwright, the pride of Uganda. Look at that. Well, he has been on the money today, hasn't he?
Super, nice penetration. Coach Tuobi's on the sideline saying move the ball again. They make the extra pass. Wainwright just repays that confidence, just buries it.
And he had Dornekamp flying.
There for Tenerife. Yeah.
He had Dornekamp flying right at him. Tenerife looking for an answer. And a reach and a foul has been called. Oh boy, this is the one that really rips your heart out. You hate to see one of these two teams lose because they have really given everything Yeah, that just wasn't needed by Jefferson, was it?
No.
He just put a great free throw shooter on the line.
Problem. Yeah, there's no problem in the play. Defensively, they're all matched up. Make them make the play. Don't let this guy have a freebie from the free throw line, because he literally doesn't miss free throws.
Well, he did miss it.
Miss the next one now. Sorry.
In 2010 against the USA, he could have tied it and forced overtime. But that's another story. Here he is. He makes it again. And Tenerife have tied it. But look at that. Lots of nerves over there amongst their fans and club members. Jefferson, well, they got it to Udino. Now the hands are up from Tenerife. Look at that. Magnificent defense from the Canary Islanders. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Huertas can't get it to drop. And Bonzi Colson. Boy, the whiff of overtime is in the air, Mark. I don't know if you feel like it tonight, but it could be that we're going to have it. We're knotted at 71.
Each team's going to get at least one look at this, so.
Jefferson whips it over to Udino. Bounce pass! Great play! And it's Wainwright. Boy, I tell you what, Udino has been playing some basketball tonight. I mean, he has delivered some big-time passes. Look at this. Boy, they have been coached up well, haven't they?
Absolutely. And the great thing is they've stayed with coach as well, and they've stayed with what he's asked them to do, and as a group, they've been rewarded. Great decision. He's talked about ball movement, and they've given it to him, and he's talked about pressure in passing lanes, and he's given them that as well. And those two things, sharing the basketball and gambling in the passing lanes, is why they're in this position. Huge timeout.
17.
I tell you, Jeff, I know it'd be great to understand the timeout here. My Spanish might not be good enough, but the master at sideline possessions is now holding court with his team. No better coach at getting something out of bounds than Chus Vidorreta.
Against the triple switch, go inside directly. Vale, Sergio, dentro, o Aaron dentro, el que esté. Okay, uno hay, otro aquí. Vale, vamos, va.
It really does illustrate how difficult it is. I mean, you can be one of the best teams in the competition, but it just shows when you get to this part of the tournament, it is so difficult, isn't it? I mean, it just... Oh. And there's no doubt that Strasbourg came here with a point to prove. And, well, doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way. They have proved it. They belonged in the Final 8, and right now they're on the cusp of one of the biggest victories in club history.
Well, he took the full court option, so he didn't want to give Strasbourg too long to go back down the other end. But the foul is going to send Tenerife to the free throw line, and they're going to have 22 seconds to try and win the game. But they're going to review this, Jeff. This will be an interesting listen.
Oh boy. Strasbourg certainly don't want an unsportsmanlike here.
I hope that's not what they're reviewing. It'll be a, wow, would that be a call? I'm fascinated by this one. This is going to be great.
Upgrading.
Oh.
From personal with unsportsmanlike foul, okay? Let's see. Okay. Go, normal. No.
Maybe the normal foul.
This is one more time. Okay. So number 5 creates the foul. It's a normal basketball play. Yes, normal. It's conclusive. It is conclusive. Normal personal foul.
I'm pleased about that, Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't need much time to review that. But so here's the situation. We know that Tenerife are, without a doubt, the best free throw shooting team in the Basketball Champions League this season. And Sasu Saline has made 27 of 28 free throws. And I am not trying to jinx him in the slightest. I'm just giving you information. Meanwhile, Udino, who's been terrific, has fouled out. And Saline. And now what will happen as well if he makes this one, Strasbourg would seemingly get the last possession. Wow. He just got enough. Sighs of relief breathed over there by the Tenerife brass.
I don't think he's taking the timeout. I don't think he thinks he needs to. He's going to go the full length of the floor. He's going to have the last shot. He wants the last shot. Or no, he's going to take the timeout.
Yeah, so
it's
Tuovi takes. Well, and we'll see.
Yep.
He still has the option of going the full length of the court, doesn't he?
Yeah. He can take the ball on the baseline and say the 20. He wants his 22.6 seconds. Let's take a listen.
What I want to see. First, we go on 8 seconds. Fist down, they will probably switch it. Flip the screen, ghost it. Hey, then we have sideline. Make sure that Brandon gets the ball. Then we space so that each is here. And when Brandon plays against the, go to screen immediately. They switch here. Trey, screen out each for a 3 when he drives. Last second, you are here. This is the second one. When you drive left, tack your own, each out and open up.
So the other thing, Jeff, Tenerife still have a foul to give. So if they defend the first part of this well, and you can assume that Strasbourg, unless they have the wide open look, are going to try and run it, the shot clock down.
All the way down, yeah.
Yeah, but if they try to do that, Tenerife will steal a foul late in the clock to give them no time on the sideline. So it's there's a number of things that can happen here. It comes down to execution. Well, they gave the foul up down there. Well, maybe they wanted to get the foul early so that if they do need to stop it, they'll get the ball back, which was the other factor to build in. Now now they have control of what happens. Without the team fouls, they didn't have control of what happens. Sit back and enjoy.
Well, Jefferson is a great free throw shooter. Ish Wainwright has got the basketball. He's an 80% shooter at the line. Cavalier is not a good free throw shooter. Jefferson launches it, and we have got overtime. Well, what do you think about that try?
I think you're going to be disappointed if you coach Tuovi. I mean, okay, he had the right guy with the ball. Great job, though, by Tenerife, because they pretty much trapped it. A little soft trap, so he couldn't turn the corner. So he forced him back the other way, so it was always going to be him to put it up. It's, hey, he got a look from the player he wanted to have a look. You can't ask for much more than that. They got some foul trouble in this fourth quarter, though, Jeff. Strasbourg foul trouble now with Moran out the game, Udino out the game. Yeah, it's they're going to have to look at those resources from the bench to get some real contribution in these extra 5.
Yeah, no real foul trouble at all. Saline has 3 fouls, but that's it for Tenerife.
Yep.
He was open. I think he would have paid to have that shot.
They just made him go a lot. They made him go a lot of places to get back to where he wants to. So it's tough to get rhythm on that. But as you say, you've got an open shot, a tough open shot to win the quarterfinal. You'd take it every time, wouldn't you?
Slip, sin perder el drible, le buscas tú. O con Sasu aquí.
So you've also got Ish Wainwright with 4 fouls.
Yeah.
And again, Bonzi Colson just 4 of 13 from the floor. And he's got one foul. Who knows? Maybe he's saving his best for last.
Yeah. Well, with the other foul situations, etc., he may have to be the man in this overtime. I'd be amazed if Tenerife don't have a look at a little bit of Huertas and Shamadini, a little two-man game where they'll dive Shamadini deep, trying to get him on deep catches. Both teams in the penalty, so it could become a free throw shootout. But I don't know. Huertas has been in this situation thousands of times before across his career, and he's been playing for Coach Villarreal for a long time now. So Tenerife are going to run their stuff. It doesn't matter if it's overtime or the first minute of the game. Strasbourg got to stay with that defense, and they've got to stay with being aggressive. Who does those two things the best? That's going to decide it for me. I hope it doesn't become a free throw competition. That's my only negative in this situation. Jeff, the Warriors are back in the game, so all good for Strasbourg.
Well, Cavalier was out there on that last sequence, and he was only shooting 50% at the line. I was thinking they might try to sneak a foul on him and get him to the strike, but in the end, well, we've got overtime. I think Mai is still over. No, is Mai back in the game as well? No, Mai's still out.
No, Boychik as well. He could have been the guy that could get into the game and make things happen.
Interesting, the Bohachik is not in. I've got a feeling that we'll see him before this is over. So Wainwright has the 4 fouls. He hands it off to DeAndre Lansdowne, who pulls up and gets to the drop. He was being guarded by Sasu Saline, and Saline looked like he kind of slipped as he tried to stop. Left Lansdowne with a wide open jumper. Now down low to Shermadini, guarded by Cavalier, and he was fouled. Shermadini shoots it well at the free throw line. But not as well as some of the other guys, Jeff. That's, he's missed 5. I know he takes a lot more because he gets fouled a lot, but I'd be amazed if he doesn't see a lot of basketball in the next 5 minutes, because they have, with the rotations of people in foul trouble, he's not guardable one-on-one. But I mean, he's missed 5 free throws coming into this game all season out of 51 attempts. I mean, 90%.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I agree with you 100%.
He's like a master.
No Shaq attack. Let's put it there. There's no Shamadini attack. There's no Shaq attack.
No. Jefferson missed it badly, and then the ball hit out of bounds before Wainwright got there. We are in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, the Basketball Champions League Final 8, the 3rd quarter final. And it's Tenerife in yellow and SIG Strasbourg in the blue, and the turnover by Huertas. Up to Wainwright. Oh boy, what a finger flip. Unbelievable finger roll. Ordinarily, I'm not a fan of that, but he made it look pretty good, didn't he?
Jeff, before that, I don't know if I've ever seen Huertas mishandle like that. It's
Rodriguez back in the game, gives it to Huertas. Now Shermadini again. Cavalier has to guard him. This time he does a great job. And Rodriguez chases it down, hands it to Huertas. Sasu Saline was open for a second. And now Wainwright knocks it away. Look at him get after it. Don't tell me SIG Strasbourg are not desperate to win this game.
You know what? It doesn't matter that he didn't get it. It doesn't matter if he didn't get it. What does that say about them as a team right now? And literally, they're running to floor. He's always in the mid-air stealing it.
Look at that. Just laid straight out.
They've got to go the whole length of the floor in 6 seconds, Jeff, as well, Tenerife now. There's only 6 seconds left on the possession.
Beautiful finish from Wainwright. Well, here they go. Fittipaldo has it. They get it quickly, and the shot blockers were there. Now Lansdowne fouled as he gets close to midcourt by Fittipaldo. And Lansdowne, looks like Dornekamp has taken a knock. He's certainly had a physical game today, hasn't he?
His 3rd penalty.
He was just scrapping away. I mean, he is a real battler, Dornekamp.
Interesting no call, Jeff. interesting no call. I'm not sure if earlier in the game they wouldn't have called it.
So he's holding his midsection.
Yeah.
Lansdowne 64.3% on the season at the free throw line as Dornekamp gets up. Well, I mean, again, Wainwright has been absolutely inspirational in this game. 16 points, 6 of 9 from the floor, and he's walking a tightrope right now with those 4 fouls.
Yep.
And boy, Dornekamp is really hurting. Ooh. The question is, I mean, he was holding his midsection, so what could that be? Or maybe it's his, is his midsection or his thigh?
I think thigh or groin area is where he seems to be struggling with, but.
And the problem is, for Tenerife, even if they win this game, they're playing tomorrow, but they've got some quality. You can see at the end, underneath the basket down there, watching the game, guys that didn't even dress out for this game. So they've still got some bodies, but there's only one Aaron Dornekamp, and we've seen what he can do.
Yeah.
And,
and obviously Kavanagh hasn't played today, Jeff. You know, one of the obvious sort of guy who could pick up a lot of those minutes is Kavanagh, and he hasn't played either. So they might have a lot of bodies, but they may be all hurt in the same spot.
So Lansdowne makes 1 of 2, and the lead goes to 3 now. And Mai is back into the game. Bonzi Colson getting a look at him and his struggles, and Huertas brings the ball back up the floor. So Bonzi Colson sits down. You got to love the competitiveness of Cavalier down there guarding Shermadini.
Yeah, they fouled him on the cut. Shermadini's going to be back on the line, I think. Everybody seems to be holding everybody else, and Sashu Salin got the worst of it.
And substitution for Strasbourg.
Yeah, they would take either Salin or Shermadini at the free throw line in this situation. Yeah. Mai goes back out of the game. Look at these guys. I mean, they're enjoying it, aren't they?
Across your career, Jeff, you want big games, don't you? You want big games, big moments. You love being in the battle. This is where these guys want to be. As long as they get the win, they're going to love this.
Well, Shermadini has just been utterly terrific again today. 9 of 10 at the free throw line in this game alone. So he's right on his season percentage of 90%. They look to go backdoor to Lansdowne, but Salin was able to get back and play defense. Colson for 3, still can't get it to drop. And now Tenerife with a chance to move back in front.
If it's not fixed, don't break it. Shermadini's got to get basketball right again. Get him down low.
Well, great effort. Sulemanovic, you're out of words. What he has meant today. Unbelievable. 10 points for Sulemanovic. Also 5 rebounds and a steal in 13.5 minutes. That is called production. Jefferson steps back. It's online. It's good. And it's Strasbourg go back in front. What a humdinger. Salin, bounce pass. Now back to Huertas. Shot clock down to 9. Huertas drives in. He finds, says in the end, it's Salin, and it stays out. They get after it on the board. Look at him laying out. Colson saves it. Extraordinary effort from Colson. Still plenty of time in this for Tenerife.
Could have won the game with that effort.
Wainwright, open, got it! Allez! SIG Strasbourg have taken an 84-79 lead. Huertas drives in, banks it in. Boy, he has got ice running in his veins to make that type of play in that moment. Marcelinho, the great Brazilian. And once again, Tenerife need a stop. The last two trips, Strasbourg have hit three-pointers. They're taking time off the clock. Colson has it. Colson has it knocked out of his hands. And there's going to be 0.4 on the shot clock. It has not been Bonzi's night. Look at him here, though. Laying out completely.
Seriously.
Look at that. Extraordinary.
And they make the three after that play, Jeff. That one play could be so crucial. That's what the effect of that out of bounds effort is, that three.
Yeah, you know, and we talk about him not having a great game, yet that one play is perhaps the most valuable, the most important play of the game, certainly at this stage. It's all about the effort plays that stand out in this one, in fact. Mai's not laughing now. He's sitting there nervous. Oh. They will know that they're not allowed to cross that line, that's for sure, after what happened with Pino Carciaca and Holon during the playoffs. So, Huertas. Marcelinho Huertas to Shermadini. And he was fouled by Wainwright, so Wainwright is gone. That is number 5.
At least the foul was strong enough to stop the unwon play, but they have gone inside for the whole of this overtime, been productive, but the 3 points, I think it's 3 threes they've had in overtime for Strasbourg. Just, what a game.
Attrition, the third player to foul out for Strasbourg. They've already lost Udino. And they lost Giannis Moran as well. So 3 rather big and important players gone, watching from the sidelines. And meanwhile, the free throw machine gets him to go. He makes 2 more. Imagine 11 of 12 at the free throw line.
Villarreal goes offense and defense, takes Shermadini out with only 27.5 to go because he doesn't. There's no one for him to guard, really. You know, there's no size, there's quickness. They would go at him. So one more stop for Tenerife, one more score for Strasbourg.
Mai has it, and they decide to foul. So Mai, interestingly, was the player that went to the line in that very first game and missed, I believe it was the second free throw, which Bonzi Golson rebounded and got the three-pointer to beat Vef Riga. I'm just thinking Mai comes into this shooting pretty decent. He's made 11 of 14. 78.6% of his free throws on the season coming into this game. And
but how many with 20 seconds to go, Jeff?
Exactly. In a Basketball Champions League quarterfinal.
Absolutely.
Well, he's made 1 now.
Absolutely.
2 now. Now it goes back to 2. And now will you foul the three-point shooter? That's the question. Are you tempted to foul if you're Strasbourg? This always comes up in European basketball, especially.
Very tempted to foul because you're in control, and you know the tendency is to say be in control. If you foul and they make both, as long as you box out, you're still up. They may foul you again, then it does become a three-throw competition, but there's not a lot of time left, so the temptation, you know, is to foul. But the trouble is you're going to foul a team that just doesn't miss free throws. Or trust your defense and take a second period of overtime. Yeah, that's the other way of looking at it, Jeff. And That's why Tuobi is paid money to coach. Hey, Jeff, Tenerife might go down and just go for a quick 2, and then they might foul. So
yeah, true.
It's Videoretto's a percentage guy. Be interested to see what he calls. Well, there's the call, Jeff. Pin down for Sasu Salin. He's been here before, hasn't he? The number of times we've seen Tenerife get shots to go to overtime or to win games on Sasu Salin executing, coming off that down screen. If they don't foul him early, often if you chase him too hard, you'll foul him just without even being you're a little out of control. Strasbourg, do what your coach has done the whole time. Stay in the passing lane, gamble on the pass, and just do what you've done for the last 25 minutes.
Well, the final seconds ticking off the clock here in overtime. Tenerife, they get the 3 from Justa. He misses. Strasbourg have rebounded it. And they had Cavalier, not a brilliant free throw shooter. They've been able to foul him with 7.3 seconds remaining. And Shermadini is now rolling on the floor in a little bit of pain, having possibly taken some type of shot to the midsection or the hip. He's already exhausted, and you can see he is writhing a little bit down there. Been a real battle. Dornekamp has taken his shots. Watch this. They sent men to the boards that time. They were not going to allow Shermadini to get that rebound. Boy, he is in pain. He's almost in tears. It is a tough game sometimes. So Rodriguez comes back in. And Cavalier again shooting 50% at the line this season, 5 of 10, and misses the first. So this is the big one. Now, I think you really do need to think about fouling Mark if he doesn't make this one.
You just got to foul without making unsportsmanlike. That's the percentage way of dealing with it.
Well, he doesn't make it, but they get the rebound. Jefferson is fouled, and he's a good free throw shooter. 4 seconds remain. SIG Strasbourg with Bonzi Colson having an off night appear to be closing in on victory. Remarkable stuff. 4 points, and really now it's all about a prayer for Tenerife. I mean, you simply do not foul anybody if you're Strasbourg. If Jefferson makes this,
you just walk away, don't do anything.
Yeah. Huertas launches for 3. He gets it to go, but that's it. Well, an incredible Basketball Champions League Final 8 is even more incredible. SIG Strasbourg have eliminated the former champions. One of the powerhouses from Spain, Lenovo Tenerife, 88-86. They march into the semifinals. Just an unbelievable effort, Mark. I mean, that is the one thing that stands out to me more than anything, more than the execution, more than anything else. It's that image of Bonzi Colson flying out of bounds to try to save the basketball. He gets it in bounds, and Ish Wainwright goes down and hits a crucial three-pointer.
We said at the time that lots of things throughout the game give them the chance to win. That one play, and we said the whole way through, they had to play the effort. They had to do that. That one play wins the game, just keeping it alive. And don't forget, they had to chase that ball as well, so they were so active. They brought it back, and they knocked the 3 down, and that's the single play that ices it, that wins it for him. That was a phenomenal effort people fouling out, great coaching work, everything. Strasbourg couldn't have done any more, and they had to be perfect in the second half to get back in it. And they pretty much were in terms of how to win the game. Jefferson, 22 huge points. Wainwright, with all that foul trouble, lands down the athleticism, the aggression, the quickness, and that defensive effort. Phenomenal. Just, as you said, Jeff, right from the beginning, they've had a lot of adversity, and they came back and used that to get the win.
Quarterfinal will start in about 45.
Here's a look back at the plays of just an incredible overtime Basketball Champions League Final Eight Classic that has been won 88-86 by SIG Strasbourg over Lenovo Tenerife. And just a couple of points here. 46 points coming from the bench to just 21 in favor of Tenerife. But Strasbourg, 21 fast break points to 3 for Tenerife. You know, Santiusta was just perfect, really, in the first half. Not perfect, but near perfect. They did get him that three-point shot that would have tied it late, and he missed it. So you feel bad for him, but on the other hand, you can only be happy for SIG Strasbourg because, again, they have had to go through so much this season. You know, and don't forget, I mean, they were 0-3 in the playoffs. They had to win their last 3 games and hope that that was going to be enough. And it just goes to show if you can just you know, maintain hope, then you've got life. And well, they just look confident. And Tuovi is just is distinguishing himself as a coach with time to prepare his team. I mean, he makes great in-game adjustments. I am impressed.
Well, Jeff, sometimes it's, you know, 1 or 2 things that make the difference, and just that adjustment that he really, it obviously talked about that in preparation, but that play the passing lanes, gamble in the passing lanes, stretch out defense, force them, because otherwise they were just letting this team pass them out of the competition, and moving the basketball. Those 2 things that he just kept saying throughout the second half. His team did it. They were aggressive when they had the opportunity to attack, and they stopped it being a too technical game. Their athleticism. This is the play, Jeff. That picture. There are going to be guys that are just sending that picture around the world of him flat out in the air saving it. Absolute phenomenal effort.
That was the play of the game.
And then this.
It really was.
Yeah, and then that happened straight after. Just, you got to. Strasbourg, a perennial in the Basketball Champions League. They've been here every single year. Get to where they want to get to, the semi-final. They're not done yet, Jeff. I think they're on a mission there. That's 4 straight wins in the Basketball Champions League. They're going somewhere.
They will play the winner of that next game tonight between Holon and Burgos. And look at Zaragoza and Karšiaká meeting again tomorrow. So the teams tonight, well, they won't have much time to rest, will they? Classic stuff here in Nizhny Novgorod. Just turned in by SIG Strasbourg and Lenovo Tenerife. Thanks for joining us. And once again, we've got Holon taking on Burgos next. We hope that you'll join us. Thanks for watching.